This is the latest and complete guide for how to apply skilled worker visa. This is the latest guide from April 2024. So let's understand what is a skilled worker visa. A skilled worker visa allows you to come to or stay in the UK to do an eligible job with approved employer. This visa has replaced the Tier 2 work visa, which used to be the old one. It also allows you to work in the UK waters. Now let's discuss how much it costs. When you apply for skilled worker visa, you will need to have enough money to pay the application fee. The standard application fees is from £719 to £1,639. It depends which visa you are applying. It ranges from this to this. There is a separate video on my channel which explains you what exactly fees you have to pay and what IHS fees you have to pay. The current and the new latest IHS fees from April 2024 is £1,035 per year. Support yourself. When you arrive in the UK, you will usually need to have at least £1,270 available. This is exempt if your employer says that you don't need the funds and they will sponsor you. There is a separate video on my channel which explains you what does that mean. You will pay a lower application fee if your job is on immigration salary list. We will discuss that in detail. What is immigration salary list? Let's discuss what your job means is. You must meet both the following requirement to be eligible for skilled worker visa. Your job is eligible for visa. You will be working for a UK employer that has been approved by the Home Office. You must also be paid at least either the minimum standard salary rate for the type of work you will be doing, the minimum lower salary rate. If you got your certificate of sponsorship before 4th of April 2024. Since it's already past to April 2024, so we'll discuss the new latest guidance. So what is the latest guidance? We will also discuss what going rate means and standard salary rate. The minimum standard salary for the type of work you'll be doing, whichever is higher, 38,700 per year. The going rate for the type of work you'll be doing. So whichever is higher, that's what it says. Your employer must make sure your job pays at least the minimum wage and follows the UK rules. We will discuss, cancel that, we will discuss part word, okay? So before starting the salary rate, going rate, let's discuss that what are the eligible visa codes. So basically the skilled worker visa eligible occupation codes, not every code is eligible. So this is the link which I'll put that in the description, which will explains you which codes are actually available where you can apply the skilled worker visa. It also says over here occupation code changed on 4th of April 2024. So make sure you follow this link, which is the latest one. Don't follow the old link. In this latest link, the occupation code is 1111. Job type, chief executive. Related job titles. These are the related job titles. Eligible for skilled worker visa. This is how you see. So for example, see that second one, 1112. Elected officers and representative. They are not eligible. So this link, I'll put that in the description, which can explain you which force, like which options you have. So for example, armed forces, no. If you're coming as an army officer, all that. So we will quickly pick up the one which are no's, so we can explain you which are the options. Most of them in this code, it explains like, it will say yes. So for example, IT business analyst, all these people are allowed. So now this link, I'll put that in the bio so you can get it from there. Now let's jump on the salary requirement and the salary going rate. Immigration salary requirement list are published on 4th of April 2024. Skilled worker visa immigration salary list. This is what you will search on the gov.uk website and this will come up. I'll put that link on the description as well. So let's discuss what does that say. It says clearly over here, the annual salaries for these jobs are based on 37.5 working weeks. Okay, so the 37 hours you have, 37.5 you have to work. We will also discuss caste code occupation coding tools in a moment. This is the new tool which they are using. Many people are confused that this is because this takes you to the Warwick website. So I'll discuss that in detail. So if it says over here further, if you qualify for the standard rate because you got your certificate of sponsorship after 4th of April 2024, you should look at the standard rate column. So this is the standard rate column. There is a separate video on my channel, healthcare worker visa, because we won't cover that topic in this video because it's a different topic and it's a detail, like there is a different salary requirement for healthcare skilled worker. So this takes you to occupation code, job type included on immigration salary list, area of the UK which qualify, standard rate, lower rate. So you have to follow standard rate, Scotland only. Also see which area it covers. Many applicant make that they apply for UK visa and they think that it's for England, like UK, but England is different, Scotland is different. So make sure. So like it says over here, chemical scientist, they can only apply for Scotland only, and the rate is 35,200. So you keep going down. So these are the codes. So most common codes are like if you're coming as a, for example, bricklayers, 5313. All jobs, the standard rate is 30,960. This is what you need to consider, not this one. This one you have to consider. Roofers, 31,000. Carpenters, 30,960. So I'll put that link in the description, so which will give you all the details about this. Now let's discuss the coding, which is this one, the CASCOT occupation coding tool. So we'll click on this and we will come to this page. It says warwick.ac.uk, but this is the official website. So for example, if I wanted to search restaurant manager job, so if I do that, restaurant manager, it will take me to this 122 managers. So in this, if you go down, it will say take you to 1222 restaurant and catering established manager, restaurant manager. So this is how you will search. So for example, if you wanted to work as a cook in UK, so you can see that. So your code is chef is 5432 5435. But make sure these codes are eligible, like I showed you how to know that. If you wanted to come to UK as a IT analyst, programmer and software development, it will come up analyst IT. So you need to understand this coding system. So this is the main code, managers, director, for example. So if we pick up the skilled trade occupations, number 5, within this, if we click, so someone who wanted to come from textile, printing and others, so 54, we will click this, and then you have further printing trades, and then you have further press technicians, and then you can see the name of the title, job title, which can come over here on the skilled worker route. It will also confirm you at the bottom what are the entry requirement routes. So for example, bachelor's degree, or this is a Scotland qualification level. So bachelor, like which degree you need, the qualification, task, what task they will perform. So your CV should say these tasks, like you can perform all these tasks if you coming to work under pre-press technician, for example, and related job titles. So these are the related job titles. This is how you will interpret this. This is a genuine website. It's provided. It's a new one. So ignore the old tools which was provided. So this is the new one, and the link, I'll put that in the description, but the link is cascotweb.warwick.ac.uk. To explain this more in detail, we will take a help of this options. There are 8 options. Minimum salary threshold from 4th of April 2024. Points available. So all of them got the points, 20 points. So we won't discuss that. So let's discuss the option A. The applicant salary equals or exceed both 38,700 per year or the going rate for the SOC 2020, the one which I just showed you, the occupation code. Option B. The applicant has a PhD in a subject relevant to the job and their salary equals or exceed both 34,830 per year, 90% of the going rate of the SOC 2020 occupation code, which I just showed you. Now let's go further. Let's discuss option C. The applicant has PhD in STEM subject, salary 30,960, 80%. Option D. The applicant is being sponsored for a job on the immigration salary list. Their salary equals or exceed both 30,960. The one which I just showed you, this immigration salary list, and their salary equals, so 30,960 or the going rate. So in this case, the option D, the things have changed now. Okay, it's 30,960. Now let's discuss option E. The applicant is a new entrant at the start of their career and their salary equals or exceed both 30,960 per year. So if you are a new entrant, in that case, your requirement is 30,960 or 70% of the going rate. The new entrant means like if you have recently graduated, like recent graduate. Now let's discuss option F. The applicant salary equals or exceed both 29,000 per year and the going rate, SOC 2020 occupation code. Option G. The applicant has a PhD in a subject relevant to the job and their salary equals or exceed both 26,100 or 90% of the going rate. Option H, the applicant has a PhD in STEM subject, 23,200 per year, 80% going rate. Option I, the applicant is being sponsored for a job on the immigration salary list, the one which I just discussed. In that case, exceed both. So, and their salary equals or exceed both 23,200 or the going rate for the SOC. Option J, the applicant is a new entrant at the start of their career and their salary equals or exceed both 23,200 and 70% of the going rate. Option K, the applicant is being sponsored for a job in a listed health and education occupation and their salary equals or exceed both 23,200 per year or the going rate. So you need to make sure that you go through this when you're applying for the skilled worker visa. Let's discuss further. You also need to prove your English knowledge. And you can do that by giving any exam of IELTS where you have to provide read, write, speak. Make sure you do the right one, not the wrong one. Like for example, the academic one is different, the general one is different. So you need to do a general one. There is a separate video on my channel, CELT, which will explain you all in detail. If you are a doctor, dentist, nurse, midwife or vet, in that case you do not need to prove your English language. You have already passed an English language assessment that is accepted by the relevant regulated professional body. If you are a vet, you may need to prove that you passed an English language assessment with the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons. How long you can stay. Your visa can last up to 5 years before you need to extend it. You will need to apply to extend or update your visa when it expires or if you change jobs or employers. How to apply? You must apply online. I'll show you how to apply in a moment. Outside the UK, and you are coming from the coming to the UK. In that case, how you need to apply. Inside the UK, how to extend the visa. Inside the UK, how to switch from different category. So, for example, if you're on a graduate visa, how to switch that. I'll show you that as well. If you want to change your job or employer, you must apply to update your visa. I'll show you that as well. So let's discuss first how to apply from outside the UK. You will go on gov.uk website, you will go on skilled worker visa and you will go down and you will see that apply from outside the UK. I'll put all the links in the description. So it will be easy. You just click and you will jump on that page. Make sure you own the only genuine website for UK visas and immigration is gov.uk. Do not follow any other website. So www.gov.uk. That's it. There is no other website apart from this. Go down. So this says apply from outside the UK and you keep going down and you will scroll down and you will see start now. Apply for skilled worker visa, start now. You will click on it and it will take you to this. Where are you planning to live? England, Scotland or Isles of, so you will select England for example. Do you have a current EU passport or that? So you don't have, so you're applying from outside the UK. And then which country you are applying from, like where you will do the biometrics. So for example, I'll put India over here. And then it will ask me, I have identified the location where I will provide my biometric. So I know where I'll be providing. So I'll click next and then it will take me to this page where you will go down and you will click apply now. As soon you will click apply now, it will ask you the email address and you will choose the password and you will start. On my channel, there is a separate video in which I have filled the application form and you can see how to apply from outside the UK in that form. Now let's discuss if you have to apply for extension. So in that case, how to extend your visa. Again, you will go on gov.uk website, skilled worker visa, go down and extend your visa. You have the options over here, extend your visa. So you will click on that and you will end up on this page. You go down, it will explain you everything, all details, but which I have already done that in my video as well. Apply now and again it will ask you the same question. Now let's discuss how to switch the visa. So many applicants do ask that how to switch to this visa. So if you are on a graduate visa, how to do that? Again, you will go on this website. You will click on switch to this visa. You will end up on this switch to this visa. Go down and it will tell you all the fees and everything, which I have also discussed in my video. Apply now. Again, you will end up on that page, which I have just showed you. The last one, how to update your visa if you change your job. Gov.uk website, skilled worker visa, go down, update your visa if you change job or employer. In that case, again, you go down and you will click apply now. This is how you do it. Now let's discuss further what documents you need to apply skilled worker visa. So when you're applying, you make sure you have the certificate of sponsorship reference number. If the COS reference number has already been used, do not use it. Your visa will get refused. So make sure it's a new one. Knowledge, proof of your knowledge of English. Just wanted to clarify one more thing. So what happens, recently one of the applicant applied for the skilled worker visa and they applied for the certificate of sponsorship. The sponsor gave them this number which they gave it to another user, and that user has already applied for the visa. So the next one, the visa got refused. You will waste your fees and everything got wasted. So make sure, and the time as well. So make sure you ask the sponsor, double check it's a new COS number. There's a separate video on my channel how to do that. A valid passport, your job title and annual salary. You must mention that on your application. Your job occupation code, which I just discussed above. Make sure it's a new SOC 2020 job code. The name of your employer and their sponsor license number. You can also find that on sponsor license website, the gov.uk website. There is a video on my channel how to apply sponsor license. I have discussed what do we mean by sponsor license number. Let's discuss further. Criminal record certificate. You will need to provide a criminal record certificate if you are applying from outside the UK. It's a long list and it's a separate list. This don't justify or don't explain you in detail, but I have created a separate video how to identify a criminal record certificate is required for the skilled worker visa on my channel, which can explain you everything in detail. Not every job occupation needs criminal record certificate. So it's not every job. So there are certain jobs, certain job codes which I have discussed in that video. Only those need the criminal record certificate. Extend your visa. You can usually apply to extend your visa, and you have the same job as when you are given your previous permission to enter or stay in the UK. Only in that case, your job is the same occupation code as when you were given your previous permission to enter or stay in the UK. So if you came on the for example healthcare visa and then you have switched it to IT or designer, in that case you cannot extend using this service. You are still working for the employer who gave you your current certificate of sponsorship. So it clearly says you can usually apply to extend on a skilled worker visa if all of the followings are true. So make sure if all of them are true, only in that case. How to switch to this visa? You might be able to apply to change or switch to a skilled worker visa if you already in UK on a different type of visa. So for example, you're on a graduate visa, you can switch. Who cannot apply to switch to this visa? So you cannot apply to switch this visa if you are currently in the UK on a visit visa. So recently someone came from India and they came on visit visa and their family member said that we will switch it to skilled worker visa. It's not possible. On short-term student visa, which is less, like 6 months or less than that. On a parent of a child student visa. On a seasonal worker visa. On a domestic worker in a private household visa. On immigration bail, because you were given permission to stay outside the immigration rule, for example, compassionate grounds. You must leave the UK and apply for skilled worker visa from abroad if you are in one of these categories. It clearly say that. So if you on a visit visa, if you're planning to come on a visit visa and trying to switch, it's not possible. It don't work that way. Update your visa if you change job or employer. You will need to apply to update your skilled work visa if you want to change your job and your new job is with different employer. In that case, you need to update the visa. Your job changes to a different occupation code and you are not in a graduate training program. You leave a job that's on an immigration salary list for a job that is not on the list. So the recent list, obviously there was an old list and now there is a new list which is known as immigration salary list, which I just discussed. In all these cases, you need to apply to update your skilled worker visa. When to apply to update your visa? It can usually take up to 3 months before. You can apply before, up to 3 months before the start date of your new job. How long it takes? It takes up to 3 months before the day of your due to start work in the UK. This date is listed on your certificate of sponsorship. What you can do on this visa? With skilled worker visa, you can work in an eligible job, study, bring your partner and children if they are eligible, take on additional work in certain circumstances, do voluntary work, travel abroad and return to UK. Apply to settle permanently, which is ILR, indefinite leave to remain. There is a separate video on my channel how to apply ILR and how to get the passport and how to do the English language test, like life in UK test. What you cannot do, you cannot apply for most of the public funds benefits. You cannot change job or employer unless you apply to update your visa.